Alexandria. The year is 100 after Christ. This is not Rome. This is Rome's brain. Alexandria is where the empire keeps its dangerous ideas, its libraries, its engineers, its thinkers. And today, inside a temple filled with incense and marble statues, a toy is spinning. A hollow bronze sphere mounted on a small pedestal. Jets of steam hiss from curved pipes, pushing it faster and faster and faster. No animals, no slaves, no hands turning a crank. Just fire, water, motion. The man who built it is named Hero of Alexandria, a mathematician, engineer, and showman, famous for clever devices that delight crowds but change nothing. History remembers him as a man who was centuries ahead of his time and ignored by it. The nobles gathered around the machine laugh. They call it a novelty, a curiosity, something to impress guests in wealthy gardens. Steam for amusement, nothing more. But one man does not laugh. He wears no senator's toga, no philosopher's robe. He is an imperial engineer, a servant of Emperor Trajan, the most powerful man on earth. Trajan rules an empire that stretches from Britain to the deserts of Arabia, an empire held together by roads, legions, and human muscle. And as he watches the bronze sphere spin, the engineer doesn't see a toy. He sees a pump. A machine that could pull water from flooded mines deeper than any slave could survive. A device that could drain swamps, power furnaces, move weight without men. He sees something Rome has never had: leverage. Because Rome does not lack intelligence, or organization, or ambition. Rome lacks one thing: energy. Everything the empire builds, its roads, aqueducts, weapons, cities, runs on bodies. Millions of them. Slaves in mines, slaves in fields, slaves turning wheels and hauling stone. And bodies break. But this machine doesn't tire, doesn't rebel, doesn't die. Within 10 years, the toy has a name: Machina Vaporum, the steam machine. And with that name, it stops being entertainment. It becomes infrastructure, policy, doctrine. In our history, this moment fades. The machine stays a curiosity. Rome continues to run on slaves. The empire peaks, then fractures, then falls. But in this world, someone in power understands what they are looking at. A machine that can replace muscle will replace limits. And once Rome learns how to build power without people, it never stops. To understand how one spinning sphere turned an ancient empire into an industrial nightmare, you need to understand the Rome that existed before steam. Rome, in the year 100 after Christ, is not declining. It is winning. Its roads bind 3 continents together with stone and precision. Its aqueducts carry water across valleys as if gravity itself were a suggestion. Its legions stand watch from the rain-soaked edge of Britain to the baked sands of Syria. This is the height of what historians will later call Pax Romana, the Roman peace. But peace does not mean rest. It means control. Because beneath the marble and order, beneath the triumphal arches and law codes, the empire runs on something fragile: human muscle. Rome does not run on innovation. It runs on ownership. Nearly 1 in 5 people in the empire is enslaved, captured in war, born into bondage, or condemned by law. They mine the silver that pays the legions. They quarry the stone that builds the cities. They row the ships, turn the mills, dig the canals. When a tool breaks, Rome replaces it. When a person breaks, Rome buys another. And that single fact shapes everything. When labor is cheap, efficiency is irrelevant. When effort costs nothing, invention is indulgence. Why improve a pump when you can throw another 100 bodies at the water? But empires are not measured by what they control. They are measured by what they must maintain. The frontiers are restless. Germanic tribes press along the Rhine and Danube. In the east, the Parthian Empire waits, rich, organized, and undefeated. Every mile of border requires soldiers. Every soldier requires pay. Every coin comes from mines that are flooding faster than slaves can bale them dry. Spain's silver shafts collapse under groundwater. The Pontine marshes south of Rome breed disease faster than men can drain them. Malaria kills citizens within sight of the capital. Rome is not weak, but it is saturated. It cannot grow faster than bodies allow. And that is why the bronze sphere matters. Because steam does not demand rest. It does not rebel. It does not die of fever. When the first machina vaporum is lowered into a flooded silver mine in Hispania, something unprecedented happens. One machine outworks 100 men. Water disappears. Shafts go deeper. Veins of silver untouched for generations are exposed. Coin floods the treasury. More coin means more soldiers. More soldiers mean safer borders. Safer borders mean confidence. Within 20 years, steam pumps drain the Pontine marshes. Swamps vanish. Fields appear. Malaria retreats. Rome expands into land that had killed Romans for centuries. The Senate notices, and they panic. Because their wealth is not in land or ideas, it is in people. If machines replace labor, what happens to fortunes built on ownership? Old families push back. They call the machines dangerous, un-Roman, destabilizing. They demand restrictions. Trajan listens and decides the empire needs power more than tradition. In 118 AD, he forces through the lex machina, the law of the machine. All steam technology becomes imperial property. All major industries must adopt it. Innovation is centralized. Progress is no longer optional. Slavery does not end. It relocates. Slaves stop pumping water. They mine coal, cut forests, feed furnaces. The cruelty becomes cleaner. Rome does not use steam to become humane. It uses steam to become permanent. And once an empire learns how to multiply its strength without multiplying its people, the age of limits ends. Rome does not announce its transformation. Empires never do. They simply begin winning faster. By the middle of the 2nd century, Roman armies no longer march alone. Behind every cohort now rolls something new: machines. Steam-powered supply wagons, iron-framed, piston-driven, haul food, weapons, and armor without oxen, without rest. In the old world, an army moved 15 miles a day if it was lucky. Now it moves 30. Legions arrive early. They arrive supplied. They arrive relentless. Soldiers carry heavier armor because they don't carry it alone. Artillery follows without delay. Sieges begin the moment the enemy realizes Rome is there. Ancient walls were designed to resist men, not machines. Steam-driven battering rams strike stone with mechanical rhythm, again, 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 without fatigue. Cranes, powered by pressurized cylinders, lift siege towers whole, placing them against battlements in hours instead of weeks. Cities that once held out for months fall in days. Negotiation becomes rare. The Germanic tribes learn this lesson first. For generations, they survived Rome by avoiding it, raiding, retreating into forests, dissolving into terrain. That strategy depended on distance. Steam erases distance. Roman engineers lay iron rails into Germania, not passenger lines, military corridors. Legions deploy faster than tribes can scatter. Forests are logged for fuel. Villages are burned or absorbed. Captured populations are sent south, to mines, to foundries, to furnace yards. By 180 AD, Germania is no longer a frontier. It is a province. Coal from the north feeds the machines that conquered it. Then Rome turns east. For 2 centuries, the Parthian Empire held Rome in check. Their cavalry ruled open ground. Their horse archers shattered infantry formations. They controlled the rivers of Mesopotamia. But Parthia has never faced an industrial enemy. By 200 AD, Roman steam-powered warships dominate the Persian Gulf. Armored hulls, mechanized rams, ballistae driven by gears instead of muscle, firing again and again without pause. Ports burn, supply lines vanish, river defenses collapse. The Euphrates and Tigris, once barriers, become highways. By 210 AD, the Parthian capital falls. An empire that rivaled Rome for 300 years collapses in a decade. This is not conquest as the ancient world understood it. This is industrial war. Britain is fully conquered by 220 AD, not pacified, converted into ironworks, timber yards, and shipbuilding hubs. Scandinavia follows by 250 AD. Steam-powered columns cross arid regions carrying condensed water, machines creating their own supply. Sahel kingdoms fall by 280 AD. Every generation, the map grows. Every generation, resistance shortens. In our history, Rome overextends. In this world, Rome scales. There is no weak frontier, no sack of Rome, no 5th century collapse. Every crisis that broke Rome in our timeline meets iron, coal, and organized production. By 400 AD, warfare itself industrializes. Armored steam wagons, proto-tanks, roll over infantry lines. Mechanized ballistae fire in sustained volleys. Chemical agents, derived from mining byproducts, choke defenders from fortifications. Victory becomes procedural. But something changes. The empire stops conquering to secure peace. It conquers to feed the machine. Coal from Germania, iron from Britannia, timber from Scandinavia. Every province exists to supply the war engine that took it. Romanization no longer means law or citizenship. It means factories, labor camps, compliance. Latin advances not by choice, but by necessity. By the time the world realizes Rome cannot be stopped, it has already forgotten how to resist. By the 5th century, Rome has no enemies left. No rivals, no peer states, no external pressure forcing change. And that is when empires become dangerous. In our history, Rome survived by adapting, absorbing ideas, borrowing gods, stealing innovations from the cultures it conquered. But this Rome no longer needs to borrow. It already owns everything. With conquest complete, the question changes. Not how do we expand, but how do we manage the world we've taken? The Senate still exists. Barely. It debates tradition, ceremony, and law, while real authority moves elsewhere, into the hands of engineers. The Magister Machinarum, the Minister of Machines. This office controls steam production, metallurgy, logistics, infrastructure, and weapons, which means it controls food, movement, war, which means it controls everything. Innovation is no longer accidental. It is assigned. Research happens in imperial academies. Designs are approved by committees. Invention serves production quotas and military efficiency. In our timeline, innovation comes from friction, competing states, rival ideas, desperate improvisation. There is no competition, so there is no chaos, no breakthroughs outside the system. Art does not disappear, it freezes. Every building follows the same neoclassical lines. Every statue echoes the same heroic proportions. Every mural glorifies the same themes: order, duty, eternity. Variation becomes inefficiency. Children are taught Latin, mathematics, mechanical reasoning, not philosophy, not political theory, not ethics beyond obedience. You don't ask why the empire exists. You learn how to maintain it. Astronomy survives only as navigation. Medicine advances only to preserve labor. Chemistry exists to improve fuels, explosives, alloys. Knowledge that does not serve the machine is quietly abandoned. By 600 AD, Latin is spoken from Britain to India, not because people love it, but because administration demands it. Local cultures persist only in private. Songs whispered, stories told behind doors. Within generations, they fade. The empire becomes stable in a way no civilization ever has. Famine is rare. Infrastructure is maintained. Rebellions are short and surgical. The price of stability is motion. History slows. There are no revolutions because there is no alternative to revolt toward. In our world, Rome's fall creates space. Rome never falls. And without collapse, humanity never learns how to begin again. The world is unified, ordered, efficient, and slowly, it forgets how to imagine anything else. For most of human history, the unknown has been a shield. Mountains slowed empires, oceans delayed conquest, distance bought time. The unknown gave civilizations room to breathe. Rome removes it. By the 12th century, Roman engineers face a problem no general can solve. The empire is vast. Its mines run deep. Its factories burn endlessly. Resources are still abundant, but no longer infinite. So Rome looks west. In our history, the Atlantic is a wall, dangerous, mysterious, unconquered until fragile wooden ships dare it. For Rome, the Atlantic is a calculation. Steam-driven leviathans leave European ports around 1200 AD. Triple-hulled vessels, iron-reinforced keels, coal bunkers feeding engines that do not rely on wind or prayer. They do not explore. They arrive. When Roman ships reach the Americas, there is no awe, no talk of destiny, no sense of miracle. Only assessment. Timber dense enough for shipyards, coal seams exposed along riverbanks, iron deposits near fresh water, and people. Not nations, not cultures. labor variables. Within a decade, Nova Roma is founded, where New York should be. Not a trading post, not a fragile settlement, a fully planned imperial city. Aqueducts rise immediately. Forums are laid out before homes. Factories come before temples. In our history, colonization stumbles, slow, contested, improvised. Rome does not stumble. Steam-powered columns push inland along rivers. Roads are cut through forests in weeks. Bridges span rivers indigenous nations took generations to navigate. Roman diseases move faster than legions. Entire communities collapse before resistance organizes. The indigenous peoples fight. They adapt, they ambush, they learn Roman formations. They are facing an empire with 2,000 years of institutional memory. Every Roman defeat is temporary. Every indigenous defeat is final. By 1250, the eastern seaboard is Roman. By 1300, the interior is mapped. By 1400, organized resistance ends. Languages vanish. Not banned, replaced. Latin becomes the language of survival. In our world, the Americas reshape Europe. Rome reshapes the Americas before they can shape anything back. By 1500, the Western Hemisphere is Roman, from Alaska to Patagonia. Not plantations of cotton or sugar, but coal, iron, timber. Entire continents converted into supply chains. Populations are relocated, absorbed, enslaved, or erased. All recorded carefully. For the first time in history, there is nowhere left to run. The frontier is gone, and without a frontier, the future stops being a question. By the year 1600, Rome has done something no civilization before it ever managed. It has solved survival. There are no famines that last, no supply chains that truly break, no borders that threaten collapse. The machine works. In our history, this is where something new would begin. Scarcity forces creativity. Competition breeds ideas. Rival states push one another forward. Rome has no rivals, so it has no pressure to change direction. Innovation still happens, but only where it serves the system. Better furnaces, more efficient pistons, stronger alloys, faster transport. But never philosophy, never politics, never questions about who should rule. Roman engineers perfect steam locomotion by 1700. Massive iron trains haul coal across continents. Factory cities rise where rail lines intersect. Schedules govern life more strictly than laws ever did. In our world, the Industrial Revolution fragments power. In this world, it concentrates it. The Senate still exists. It still debates. But no one listens. Real authority belongs to the Concilium Machinarum, the Council of Machines. A body of engineers, logisticians, and generals. They do not argue ideology. They calculate output. Policies are approved based on efficiency curves. Populations are moved to reduce transport loss. Education exists to produce competent operators, not thinkers. In our history, literacy spreads unpredictably. In Rome, it is standardized. You learn what the system needs you to know, nothing more. Art survives, but only in approved forms. Every building follows neoclassical rules. Every statue resembles another statue. Every story reinforces the same truth. Rome is eternal. And eternity does not need variety. Medicine advances rapidly. Germ theory is understood early, not for compassion, but productivity. Vaccines are mandatory. Life expectancy rises. People live longer, but not freer. Electricity is never pursued. Steam works, coal is abundant, mechanical systems are reliable. Why chase the invisible when the visible obeys? In our world, electricity unlocks miniaturization, communication, speed. Rome builds bigger, not smarter. Computers emerge by the 1800s, vast mechanical engines filling entire halls. Thousands of gears, endless clacking, used for census data, logistics, surveillance. Never for personal thought. By 1800, the population surpasses anything Rome ever imagined. Billions of people, all fed, all housed, all employed, all subjects. In our timeline, revolutions erupt over rights. The idea never forms. You cannot rebel against a system that has no alternative. Children are raised to see service as purpose, obedience as stability, stability as virtue. Rome does not crush humanity, it organizes it. And in doing so, it removes the one thing progress has always required: the ability to walk away. It is the year 2025. There are no ruins, no emergency broadcasts, no sense that something has gone wrong, because nothing has. The Imperium Romanum governs the entire planet, not as a patchwork of conquered states, but as a single, continuous administrative system. One census, one legal code, one chain of command. The capital of the world is Nova Roma, a city of 50 million, sprawling across the northeastern coast of what once would have been North America. Stone and steel towers rise in disciplined rows. Aqueducts ride elevated rails through the sky. Steam vents exhale in steady rhythm from every district. Nothing is broken. The Concilium Machinarum meets daily. Engineers, logisticians, military coordinators. They do not argue values. They optimize. Every decision is modeled, every outcome predicted, every inefficiency removed. In our world, governments react to crises. Rome prevents them. There is no electricity grid. Power flows through steam lines and hydraulic networks. Massive mechanical computers, rooms of brass, iron, and turning wheels process global data continuously. They know where everyone is, what everyone does, what everyone produces. There is no internet. Communication moves through state-run pneumatic systems and broadcast towers. Information arrives when it is permitted. Questions are unnecessary. Art exists. Neoclassical architecture, approved musical forms, literature that celebrates order, duty, and continuity. Nothing shocks, nothing challenges, nothing surprises. There is no counterculture. There is no culture to counter. You are born into a registry, assigned education, assigned work, assigned housing. Your needs are met. Your desires are irrelevant. People do not dream of changing the world. They dream of being efficient within it. There are no wars. No rivals exist to fight. No revolutions. The idea of revolution requires imagination. Imagination has been optimized out. All of this began with a single machine. A bronze sphere spinning in a temple in Alexandria. A toy that became infrastructure. Rome did not fall because it embraced steam. It survived because of it. But in surviving forever, Rome removed the one thing that makes civilizations human: the freedom to fail, and the chance to become something else. This is the price of immortality. If you want to explore more moments where a single invention reshaped the world, like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for the next deep dive. Because sometimes the most dangerous future is the one that never ends.